Hey everyone, Rick Albert here, and I'm happy to present my very first interview. This one is with Ed Stulak. He is a real estate agent out of New Jersey, and he's also an Instagram expert. He has over 44,000 followers and does a lot of consultations with different realtors all across the country. But today we're going to be focusing more on you and what you should be expecting and looking for in an agent when it comes to social media, specifically Instagram. So enjoy. Please don't forget to like it, comment, subscribe. In a couple days, I will have it posted on rickалbertonline.com, the written version. So be prepared to check that out and enjoy. Why don't you talk about just like who you are, what you've been doing, all that fun stuff?
Cool. So my name is Ed Stulak, the Millennial Realtor, and what I've been doing is teaching realtors worldwide about the importance of social media and personal branding. More so into the Instagram side of things, teaching them how to really expose themselves, expose their brand, expose their purpose, and of course expose their business so it reaches the right audiences that they intend to work with. And so that's what I've been teaching realtors now for about, I would say, 2 years. I recently got into this whole field because I came from that background. I was always doing social media. I was helping out influencers and celebrities with their personal brands. And then one day I said, screw that, I want to do it for myself. And so when I got into it and I did it for myself, I realized that this stuff works in real estate as well. You don't just have to be an influencer or a celebrity in order to get such exposure. So I said, let me see if these little nitty gritty tips and tricks and strategies, systems really work in real estate as well. And they did. And so I started getting leads. I began working with the right people, began getting the exposure to my ideal audience. And then I realized that everyone has an ideal audience. It's just how do you get in front of them for free, the most organic way possible, cost efficient as possible, of course, because not many people have money to work with, and a lot of people don't want to spend money on social media because they're so skeptical of it. So no problem. Let me show you how to do it the most organic way possible with the most cost efficient ways, strategies, and things of that sort. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, and that makes total sense because like we've looked into like different Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and like, oh, it's so cheap. It's only like 10 cents, whatever. It's like, but you have to spend thousands of dollars to really make it effective. So it ends up
Right.
being much more expensive than what they're kind of advertising.
What you would intend on spending. Like, well, I'm okay with spending, $10 a day, and then all of a sudden that bill turns into, well, if you really want the exposure,
Right.
it's gonna cost you like 500 a month, and then you're like,
It's almost a bait and
oh
switch.
god, not open to that.
Very cool. So from if I'm a buyer or seller, and because we all know that most buyers and sellers will Google their agent and they might go on their social media. What are some things that they should be looking for in a brand if you're a prospective buyer or seller?
Cool, great question. And I guess the answer is really simple because a lot of people are looking for a track record. People want to see how many houses have they sold? Who are they working with? What agency are they with? Things of that sort. And of course, the brand, is it a reputable brand? Are they modernized? Are they adapting to what works today? Or are they very old school with the mentality of the fundamental elements that still work today? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying those realtors are doing a bad job because I work with realtors at my office that are still stuck to their calendar and their physical calendar and stuck to their physical notepad with their CRM. And they have all these leads that they literally flip through a book and contact their leads and emails. And so it's not a bad way. It's just, are you adaptable? And if you're not
Mhm.
adaptable, you got to understand what the current audience today is looking at. How are they perceiving things? Are they online, or are they also flipping through a notebook looking at other clients and leads? Most of the time they're online, so shouldn't you be as well? If
Mhm.
you're driving, if you're driving, you're on your phone. If you're, which you shouldn't be, but people are, and it's just inevitable. It's
Right.
just what it is. If you're in the bathroom, you're on your phone. If you're going to bed, you're on your phone. You're with family, a commercial comes on, you're on your phone. So shouldn't you be there too? And in
Mhm.
the most attractive, unique way possible? I have clients that follow me on the social media, on Instagram, and they're always seeing me traveling and speaking at events, not doing anything real estate related exactly. However, it's a conversation starter that we have. All of a sudden, they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, that's so cool," and we just start a conversation, which is something that not many people do. And so that's why I love social media. Everyone is on there. Just be in
Yeah.
front of the audience, of your audience, and most likely your audience is online. So that's the
Nice.
point of my pushing on get on social media like yesterday and really
Right.
push your presence on there.
Okay. So that actually is it because it actually rolls into another question I had, which was like, what are you seeing in terms of that client relationship? So like, even with me, like some of my clients, I then all of a sudden we add on Facebook or add on LinkedIn and sometimes even on Instagram. So what kind of relationships are you seeing there in terms of staying in contact with them, that sort of deal?
A very authentic relationship. Authenticity is key, and it always will be. And I think authenticity will be preached and really you can't take it for granted in 2020. You're really going to
Yeah.
need to push authenticity more than ever before. I feel like where things are going with social media, the more that you are yourself, people will either resonate with you or they won't. And if they won't, they just won't do business with you. That's okay.
Right.
Business is always going to be. Business will never die. You have to
Mm.
figure out how to, again, adapt and be present on there, right? So my point is authenticity is one of those key elements that everyone will need in 2020 and of course the years to come.
Mhm.
And so, again, going back to my authenticity, my clients, some of them see me on Instagram partying till 3 a.m. at the office working. And you know what? I'm good. I love it. That's just who I am. I love to jam music, whether it's metal music or maybe it's EDM or maybe it's soft jazz, whatever it is, whatever I'm feeling. I will blast it at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. when I'm still at the office working. And my clients will see that and they'll laugh. They'll be like, "Oh, wow, you're still at the office." I'm like, "Yeah, I got work to do."
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then, of course, the next day, I'm going to, I don't know, let's go. I was going to Colorado. And one of my clients said, "Oh, I love Colorado so much. Like, definitely visit Denver and go to ski resorts." And, like, that's a conversation that wouldn't have happened if I just kept hitting them with, "Hey, here's another house that you might be interested in. Hey, looking to sell yet? Hey, looking to sell? Looking to buy? Or, here's the interest rates." Like, that's great. Thank you for keeping me updated. But, like, realtors aren't just machines. There's actually a human inside of us. And so that's what the authenticity needs to bring out in 2020 and, of course, the years to come.
Got it. So it's so even your account, even if you say, hey, it's for generating business or whatever, but there is also an aspect of like it is your personal account. So
Right.
you should be personal in that respect. And
Yes.
then that's
Yeah.
really what they should be looking for.
I feel like I get the most engagement and interaction when I'm myself and just
Yeah.
being who I am. Yes, I will do business and I'll go ahead and I'll sell sometimes, but
Hmm.
most of the time I'm just myself. And again, you either resonate with it or you don't. And if you don't, no problem.
Yeah.
Don't be DMing me, hating me, and all that stuff. I don't have time. It's no problem.
Yeah. No, I noticed I get the most engagement when it's pictures of me and my wife. So I don't know, maybe it's just her that people are more engaged with, but I have noticed that.
It's family oriented,
Yeah.
and that's one of those things that sells. And there's top 5 things that I know that sell in this world: education, humor, entertainment, pets, animals, things like that, babies, and sex. These
Yeah.
things sell like crazy. And it's just being, again, just be you, be who you are. And if, again, you know what, if there's a girl and she's in a bikini, I'm telling you that picture is getting a lot of likes and a lot of engagement.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
It's,
And we all laugh and we'll say, "Oh wow, that's funny," but it's true.
yeah.
Then you have some guy that's preaching about his 3-bedroom 2-bath that he just listed, and you're like, okay.
Let's go back to the bikini.
Let's go back to the bikini. That's
So,
hilarious. So that's true though. So, but again, like just being you, being real. So many people tell me. A lot of people ask me, actually, my students ask me, they're like, "And what kind of content should I be posting on social media?" And again,
mhm.
as a realtor, I will tell them, or I will ask them, what has done best for you when you've done your split testing, when you've done the A/B? What has gotten most? "Oh, well, family and my kids." Do more of that and try to incorporate business somehow into it. So I had this one client. He was a mortgage guy, right? He
Hmm.
had no idea how to brand himself. He didn't know what he was about. His username, like his brand, everything was just not how it should be. And so I told him, I said, listen, man, you need to figure out what your brand is and you need to own it. And so, long story short, he has two little girls, loves them to death. Almost every picture of his is with his two little girls. And I don't see much business in there. So I said, okay, cool. So from what I'm seeing, you're a loving dad. You're a mortgage guy that, of course, is all about giving out loans in this beautiful world. How about you combine both of them together? Why don't you create a video with your two little girls dressed up, being your assistants for the day, as, for example, going and meeting with a client and talking about loans and the interest rates, and like have them say a line. Like that could
Hmm.
be funny as hell. People can
Right.
relate to it and resonate with it. And now they're being preached a business kind of pitch, but in a very entertaining way. It's very indirect selling. And I love indirect selling. I'd rather show you my house that I just listed in such a humorous, entertaining way that is going to entail you and bring you in to watch the whole thing from A to Z because you're entertained. There's some value in it for you. And so that's what people don't understand is why can't they? It's like either one or the other. Why not combine them both together?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so then flipping that on the opposite, what would be if I'm a prospective, let's say, buyer or even a seller, and I'm going on this agent's Instagram account, what are red flags? Like, what would be the opposite? I don't want to be seeing
Okay. So depends on what that brand is all about, I guess. Again,
that. Uh-huh.
if you're a buyer or seller that is in urgent need of selling a house, for
Hmm.
example, or in urgent need of selling or buying a home, obviously you don't want to work with someone that's half-assing it, right? So you can
Right.
tell by the content. If it's constantly just partying and it's constantly just it's all over the place, it's not nicely put together, then yeah, you're gonna judge it. Just like you might judge anything in this world by the looks of it, right?
Hmm.
You never know. But again, that's the brand. Those are the brand aesthetics. So sometimes the brand aesthetics might really throw you off. But those are some of the downfalls. Those are the cons. That's why I always tell realtors, make sure you're consistent, persistent, always showing your brand and portraying your colors and portraying who you are as a person and how your business is and all these little things. So
Hmm.
again, going on social media, it's tough to exactly identify like a
Sure.
specific red flag, and then again, the red flag might be, oh, well, I heard bad things about that person. Again, those are just your reviews. That's your track history, right?
Hmm.
So it's tough to identify the red flags exactly, but
Hmm.
sometimes you can just judge and you can tell the vibes, right? People always about energy and vibes. It's a
It's
normal
just a
thing.
feeling. That's what most of residential real estate is nowadays. It's like, oh, I'm just not feeling it. Like, what? What do you mean?
It's true. It's true though, and I'm sure there's other red flags, but those are one of them. Just
Nice.
no, I don't feel it. I'm not feeling it. I see that they're very caught up in their own personal life, for example, or they're constantly traveling. I know I'm constantly traveling
Yeah.
nowadays, so my clients are kind of confused. Like, what the hell is he doing? Is he traveling, or is he trying to sell me a house? So
Mm,
right. And again, that's just my business. That's who I am, though. I have
right.
different intentions in this world as a realtor. But if I was really stuck to real estate and doing only real estate, selling, buying, then
Yeah.
absolutely you better believe every single post I'm doing is something to do with real estate, always going out there, showing homes, doing this. And that's what clients and sellers and buyers want to see is a
Yeah.
constant hustler that's in real estate.
Yeah. So have you actually had that problem where buyer, if let's say I'm a seller, I'm like, well, but I'm seeing you travel all the time. How are you able to sell my house?
Right. So they'll ask, and I have a team. So again,
Yeah.
if I didn't have a structured system, then absolutely no, I wouldn't even tell them, hey, listen, I don't have time. I'll just refer you to someone that will get the job done, no problem. But that's
Right.
not my intention. I have a whole team. I have 7 guys under me. They're all helping me out. If I can't do something for some reason, I have someone. Don't worry, go get it done.
Take
You
care
know,
of
and,
it.
and then they feel secure about it all. And that's just where I'm at right now. This year, I'm starting to travel a lot more, so I have to
Yeah.
come up with a new system. Hey, listen, Mr. Buyer or Mr. Seller, I have a lot of things going on right now, but don't worry, I have a team behind me. We will get it done. And
Yeah.
so again, you have to come up with your own system. But
Sure.
I do have a system behind me right now. I have assistants. I have my little realtors that are helping me out as well with this all. And then again, I'm at the point where I choose to work with who I would like to work with. If I'm
Right.
going to get someone that approaches me and says, hey, listen, I'm trying to invest in a property, I just don't want to. I don't have time. You're gonna
Yeah.
be very, very picky with what you're looking for. You're gonna require 24 hours out of my day. I just don't want that. I'd rather have my clients that I have on Instagram, and I'm telling you, 70% of my business comes from Instagram. And these
Interesting.
people are just saying, hey, listen, I see what you're doing. I like your branding. I like what you're all about. I want to work with you and you only, which tells me
Right.
I don't have to go chasing them. They want to work with me. That's totally fine. My love and attention is on them versus people that I really don't want to do business with or care about in the first
Yeah.
place.
Nice.
I choose who
Okay.
I want to work with. So I do have a couple of people right now that are looking to buy and sell in 2020, all
Yeah.
from Instagram, and they see what I'm doing. They're cool
Yeah.
with it. And
Yeah.
again,
Otherwise, they wouldn't
pretty
have
much
reached out to you.
that's right. That's right. They resonate with
Right?
it.
They didn't like what they saw.
Exactly.
That makes sense. What's actually been the worst account you've seen, like in some of the clients you've worked with and all that with the realtors? Is the ones that are just kind of all over the place and not even say who they are?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
The worst accounts are the ones that I don't see their full name. I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to John Doe. I don't
Interesting.
know where they're from. I don't see any location. I have to literally physically dig deep into their posts and see their comments and potentially kind of predict where they're from. I have to go into their agency to find out. Like, that's too much work. Just put it in your bio. Make it very simple for viewers and visitors to learn about you. So
Yeah.
no name, no location, and then of course no occupation. I don't know what you're doing. You know you're a realtor. Your followers don't know you're a realtor.
Right.
You need your followers to know. So those are the worst accounts that I've ever seen. It's just like, how can you not? You never know who might stumble upon your page and might need real estate needs.
Mm-hmm.
What if you're the go-to guy? What if they are your next door neighbor that you've never met before, but somehow they find you on Instagram and they
Right.
see your picture? Yeah, nice picture. Then they see your bio, no name, no location. They don't know where you're from. You
Yeah.
know where you're from. You know what you do, but not everyone else.
Nice. So one of the things, kind of switching gears, if you say, so oftentimes if you're a seller, you say, fine,
Okay.
I'm going to post your property on Instagram, do all that. But have you seen anything done from the buyer side? So like what I've done is actually posted, hey, I have buyers, this is what they're looking for. I was just curious to see what you have, because if I'm a buyer, I would want my agent to do anything and everything they could to find property. So
Gotcha.
just kind of
Yes, I mean, when it comes to that, I never really did anything with my buyers on that
interesting.
end side of things. If I'm looking, for example, I'll go ahead, I'll post on my Instagram story. I'm looking for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath in this area. But again, it's very tough to request something like that, and
Mm-hmm.
especially within my buyer's desire. I can go ahead and I'll reach out to agents and I'll say, hey,
Sure.
listen, I know you follow me. Listen, do you have anything that's coming up, or maybe your colleagues or whatever it is? But there's only so much that you can do as a buyer's agent to really find the right house. And then if
Right.
you do find the right house, it's got to be the right seller. And the
Mm-hmm.
right seller, it's almost never the right seller because now your buyers are looking for the right price. Your seller is looking for the highest price. So
Right.
it's tough. It's tough to bring all those pieces together. But absolutely, I'll start reaching out. I'll go on Instagram story. I'll ask my realtors, like if there's because again, I have a big real estate following. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
real estate agents around the world follow me, right? So again, 44,000 followers, most of them are realtors, real estate professionals. If there is something that I need like super, super badly and I'm very needy for it, then yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go above and beyond to make sure I find it for you. But again,
Nice.
it's most of the time it's here are the properties that are in this area. We already
Right.
know what's in the area and things of that sort. I'll go door knocking and I'll go back to the fundamental basic elements
Mm-hmm.
of real estate: door knocking, cold calling, sending out mailers, flyers, things like that.
Yeah, just do a little bit of everything. So it's more like the Instagram is like a supplement too. Like
That's right.
it's just another branch of what you're doing.
It's another source. That's right. Exactly.
Okay. Okay. So um I guess the next one is just if you are I guess you kind of already touched on in terms of the best for like starting advice for agents is more of just defining who you are. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
really it's like
Absolutely.
if you're just starting out the Instagram account because you just got into real estate and now you gotta tell the world who you are.
It's very simple. Absolutely. But you need to know who you are. It's
Yeah.
it's, it's one of those corny cliche things, but you got to know who you are at the end of the day. And once you know who you are and you know what your ideal audience looks like, you got to tailor your content and your brand to their fit. Is how I say it.
Hmm.
So if you're looking for buyers that are single moms, for example, well,
Hmm.
really cater your content towards them. Hey, single
Right.
moms, did you know as a single parent you are qualified for this kind of loan, and like whatever it might be. Tailor all your content to them, and then all of a sudden those moms will start following you, and they're going to tell their other single moms about you,
Right.
and all of a sudden
All
you
the
build up a
clubs.
following.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And it's also important to understand that you don't need millions of followers in order to be someone or to actually convert. Those 50 million followers can be fake. I'd
Mhm.
rather have 50,000 or even 50 followers that are legit and will convert versus 50 million, right?
Yeah. No, I've read the studies. The micro influencers, the ones that have the 10 to 30,000, actually do better oftentimes than the
Yeah,
bigger brands. Because if you are the Kim Kardashians of the world, a lot of her followings might not be the people that actually qualify financially to buy the product she's advertising.
that's
It's
that's
not
also
even
true.
right because she may not necessarily shop at Walmart, but a lot of followers might,
Right.
right?
That's right.
So no, that makes total sense. So then if you are a buyer, so what is the best advice you could give regarding real estate and Instagram from the buyer and seller's perspective?
Okay. Well, you want to make sure that the realtor that you might be working with or doing your research on has a good, again, track record. You want to make sure that they're actually doing something. Are they part of a good team? Are they part of a good agency? And also, is their marketing on point? Like, if you want to work with someone that is doing all these high-techy drone videos and these cool, modern luxury shots with their drones and their cameras, obviously search if they have that stuff, if they've done the past, and just look at their portfolio is my point. And
Yeah.
most of the time, if you're a good realtor, you're going to have that. You're going to showcase that all on social media because it's one of your highlights as a realtor, and it's one of your assets, your unique selling propositions. Look, this is what I do versus the other guys that don't. This is why you should work with me. This is why you shouldn't work with others. And
Right.
again, so from the buyer side, you just want to make sure that the realtor is qualified, has been working for some time. You just want to make sure that they're working with the right team, they're working correctly. And again, usually reviews sell that. Usually reviews, word of mouth. You can ask someone, reach out to them, get on a call with them. There's so much social media can do nowadays where you can go ahead and actually reach out to a realtor just through Instagram, for example. There's a call button now. You can just
Yeah.
click that, get on a call right away. I talk about Instagram being a digital business card. It really is. I don't give out my business cards to anyone anymore. I don't remember the last time I did. It's just because I don't need to. I know it's going to end up in the trash anyway. I'd
Right.
rather just give out my Instagram. Every time I'm in my suit, I made sure my tailor put my Instagram handle inside my suit instead of like his
Uh,
logo thing. So
that's
now,
great.
right? So now every time someone's like, "Oh, do you have a business card?" I'm just like, "Check it out," and they're like, "Oh, man."
You
And
do like a QR code. You just have them scan it. It takes you right there.
yes, phase two. I
That's right.
love
Thanks,
it.
Tim.
But yeah, so that is kind of my perspective on that.
Okay, that's interesting. So, okay, this has all been amazing. Thank you so much for all this.
Yeah,
So, going forward in real estate, doesn't have to be Instagram related. I'm just kind of curious, what do you think is going to happen? Like, do you not necessarily a recession, but just how the industry is going to change, who's going to be hurting, who's going to be more successful, that sort of deal. What do you see
cool.
going on?
So right now in the real estate industry, I know there's a big, complicated talk about Zillow. Zillow really kind of empowering, being a big powerhouse, trying to
Mhm.
steal, leads from realtors. Like Zillow is going to be probably good for the consumer side, not so well for the realtors. However, at the end of the day, you need realtors. You need that human interaction, which brings me to my other point that I wanted to bring up about the future of real estate. I honestly don't know how long real estate agencies will exist
Hmm.
because everything, back 30, 40 years ago, a consumer, a buyer, seller would come in, knock on the door of an agency and say, I know you live around the corner. I know I always pass by your office. I need to
Mhm.
sell my house. Give me a realtor to work with. Okay,
Mhm.
who's available?
Right.
Nowadays, it's, oh, John Smith. I know his stuff. I've seen his advertisements everywhere. I want to work with John Smith. John Smith, it doesn't matter if John Smith is with Keller Williams or Remax or Century 21. It doesn't matter because John Smith is John Smith, which my point is your personal brand wins.
Yeah.
So if you have a personal brand that is strong enough, it doesn't matter where you go. LeBron James is a perfect example. That man went from Cavaliers, or I don't know basketball. He went from somewhere to Lakers, right? I think.
Yeah.
But he switched teams, is my point. And people went from that team to the other team because LeBron went. Like, oh, we're a fan of LeBron, so now we're a fan of that team. Same thing applies to this concept. So that's so I don't know where real estate agencies exactly will be. I think personal brands will win, and the stronger ones probably will survive the longest.
Yeah. I think that's interesting because most people don't realize is that agents are independent contractors in most cases.
Right.
And it's like I've seen top producing agents just jump from agency to agency. It's just whoever gives them the better cut, negotiations, whatever. We're a boutique firm here, and we do fairly well, right? We rank as part of the top 10% of producing agents in LA. And it's like there's 2 of us plus other people on our team, so we're like 3, 4 of us, and it doesn't matter because you're right. Everyone just talks about the individual person.
Right. Exactly. See, so that's the point. I'm not sure how long these like EXP Realty, for example, something like that is going to come around, and so I have no idea where the industry is going. I've only been in it for 3 years now. I'm slowly entering my 4th now. So I'm still new to real estate. I don't know how it is, but just predicting, I don't know how long agencies will survive exactly. I think everything is going to just be handled by oneself. I don't know. I mean, anything is possible. I know there's a lot of regulations and a lot of things that you have to get around somehow, but I feel like so much has been done nowadays that why not? You can now rent your car for a day to someone. You can rent out your house. You can anyone can be a taxi driver. All these little things I'm thinking about, like maybe real estate will be there very soon.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, was there anything else you want to talk about? Just whether it's Instagram or just real estate in general?
Well, no. Well, I have my online course now that is finally launched now. So yeah, it's called IG. Thank you. It's called IGRE. Teaches real estate professionals around the world about social media and personal branding, how to really use Instagram, tips and tricks, strategies, all these little things. So you can find it at igrecoaching.com.
Okay, great. And is that the best way for people to find you?
Yeah, it's Instagram, social media at Ed Stulak, EDSTULAK.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right, well, that's all I have. So I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
And next time you're in LA, let me know. We'll grab lunch. It's on me. There's lots of good places here.
Oh, I know. I love LA. I love it. I'll be back for sure.
Cool. All right. Well, you have a good holiday, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you as well.
Thanks. Bye.
See you later.